T.I.'s sons got on the internet. They accidentally exposed something about 50 Cent that the culture hadn't noticed for 20 years.
I saw T.I. talking about how he didn't want you, he basically didn't want you jumping into beef, so to speak.
Two young men who grew up watching their mother get dragged through a public spectacle and decided, without hesitation, that the boss of embarrassment was going to have to answer for it.
You want to say something about my mama? Your mama dead as nigga.
They instructed 50 to try his best to resurrect his own.
Go dig her up. Go dig her up.
Even reminding us how good of a painter the rapper was.
I'm gonna lie to you, I like King rapping. I feel like King been having the dopest bars.
And Curtis Jackson, the man who trolled his own son, his baby mama, entire podcast, and the most powerful mogul in rap, started deleting posts.
Like even guys like 50 Cent, like, cause like if a baby doesn't get held the first like 5 minutes, there's some things that fuck with them for the rest of their life.
This is the story of the boss of embarrassment, who terminated a few out of their position till karma would catch up to him, waking up the ghost of his past while doing everything he could to keep himself from becoming one, placing himself in an almost identical position of an artist he recklessly vouched for.
The same thing that you see Drake experience. So how did he just have... This is the op page.
This is the cap story of 50 Cent.
You got cap in your raps. You got cap in your raps.
For years, it was tough to mention Curtis Jackson, aka Boo Boo, without mentioning Ja Rule. The Ja Rule destruction was an execution, systematic, surgical, total.
Yo, keeping it real, I know y'all looking at my face like, what happened to him? You know, I'm on the streets, we riding it out sometimes. Gotta lump niggas up, you know what I mean? It's murder, for life.
50 didn't just win, he made sure Ja could never recover. That's the version of 50 the culture locked in. That's the legend he's been living off ever since. That was only the beginning of an era where Boo Boo would become the industry's boss of embarrassment. Well, in so many ways, one of the first 20v1 artists wouldn't be Drake. It would be 50 himself, exerting his power over the entire New York region against anyone that wasn't willing to denounce Ja Rule. In retrospect, the only reason 50 was able to survive a war he jump-started himself would be the international appeal of his first album. Get Rich or Die Trying would lay the groundwork for 50 to brag decades later. That is, of course, until you bring up Yeezy.
You got 50 throwing up the rug. What?
But this braggadocious got smoke for anyone attitude would transform into something else as Curtis aged. Unlike many of his peers who would use social media sparingly and mostly for promotion, Curtis would use it to troll any and everyone. From his own son and baby mama, to Diddy Combs, who became the world's laughingstock after facing federal sex trafficking charges. Though a bankruptcy would grant the mogul a minor hiccup, he would recover in epic fashion, striking a deal with Stars for his TV series Power, whose sequel's been printing money. And Instagram with 38 million followers. He genuinely believes he is the last of a dying breed, a man who cannot be touched. He acts like no one has the receipts to come for him personally. He's been doing this for 20 years and nobody has made it stick. In part 1, we talked about why and how 50 would go at the diddler, but Puffy was just a course meal. He would attempt to take down an entire podcast just for critiquing his Diddy doc, labeling them squatters.
You don't want nobody doing a documentary about some, like, trying to just make your whole character look weak. Like, that's petty behavior.
I didn't have this on my list of things to do, but if you insist, I'll make time. I'm working on buying the space where you film and 50% of your podcast.
Fab, outside of Dave Blunt's, might have been the first to figure out the weak spots in 50's armor, making the Queen's native wave a white flag for the time being and deciding to focus all his attention on Jimmy. The capo of Cap couldn't keep up with the boss of embarrassment, retaining major damage during the escalation, somehow having his image dragged lower than it was before.
Branson Cognac. What the fuck? What happened with the lights, man?
Kicking in doors. Nigga breaking entries against the law.
Though no one got it worse than Jimmy, he would try similar antics with Papoose.
I use you. You're a toy.
And Faison Love as well.
Curtis Jackson. It's been cute and fun, but these memes is corny now.
But every magic trick eventually meets its retirement date, when everyone figured out what's exactly under the sleeve.
The king say that stop. He say he the king of New York, and if he don't want to do it, and one of them other niggas up there who got a goddamn catalog want to pull up, tell him come see the king. Don't come around me. Come sit down with me. And we gonna start with 50. And if he don't want to do it, then we gonna go pick somebody else.
But the real problem for Curtis wasn't T.I. It was the pattern people were about to notice. And soon enough, it will be Curtis's turn.
Exception is a bully. Drake talking about they looking for revenge. They're picking the reason to go at the kid because he keep winning. Right. There's nobody that's gonna sit in that seat and not have conflict, not have artists uncomfortable with you being in that seat because it is what it is.
When Curtis came on the podcast and held up a list of entities posting negative material about Drake, he would have no idea the irony that would trail months later. The same 50 that was brazen enough to tell on drug kingpins and take up fades in the street had changed. He became notorious with the Twitter fingers, living out the saying, if you have to remind everyone you're the boss, it's probably because you no longer are. And that's when the decision that changed everything was made. The T.I. situation didn't start loud. It started with subtweets, side comments, and quiet shots. 50 had seen this pattern before, and he dismissed it the same way he always does. With jokes, with memes, with Instagram. That was the mistake. 50 chose to fight T.I. the same way he fought Jomo. Make it funny, make it public, and make the other person look small.
Call me Tip. This is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward.
But T.I. wasn't Jim Jones. T.I. had his own cultural standing, his own loyal base, and most importantly, his own genre. Clifford's resume compared to Curtis would be a familiar position when you think about it. Not the international star that Curtis is, but more of a staple. Think of it as Kendrick, who wasn't the pop star Drake is, but has a life more relatable. On top of that, Clifford's versus challenge to Curtis by no means came out of nowhere.
Me and that nigga talk like this.
You talking about you with 50?
Yeah, man. We talk about shit, man. This shit didn't come out of nowhere. Nigga, we were moving around in LA, man, selling some TV shows and shit while we were around each other, man. You know what I mean? I said, you think about this? Like, you want to do that shit? I said, yeah. He was like, all right, cool. I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna jump out there first, and then you just gonna jump out there and we'll line it up. And he said, all right. And when I jump out there, nigga act like he ain't know what the f going on.
Some would say T.I.'s resume wasn't substantial enough. That's debatable. While 50 did a makeover on the mixtape industry, T.I. started up a genre, trap music.
Who had an album named Trap Music? I'm asking. Well, then that's who started it. It's just as simple as that.
His confrontation with T.I. will be one for the books. It would start off very similar to Drake's destruction at the hands of Kendrick.
Seems like nowadays people want to build Kendrick.
Nobody yelled out Kendrick. You just heard that in your head. He's giving people like moments, you know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
The two worked hand in hand on a TV show and spoke about competing.
I'm saying, so right now.
And then I called my man. I said who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke though.
Oh, Lord.
I called my man. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool. So now.
What one saw as sharpening his sword, the other saw as a violation, which would lead to a back and forth game of humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize who that is?
Yeah, that's Phil.
Okay.
Which usually will be light work for the boss of embarrassment. But one tweet after another, things begin to snowball. Clifford will begin to apply pressure. Here's where it gets complicated. 50 has spent years positioning himself as the man who exposes frauds. But the moment T.I. started raising questions about 50's personal life, 50's response stopped feeling like a boss and started feeling like deflection. Warren Buffett's famous saying, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to destroy it. For 50, it will be just a few posts.
This was a week ago. This nigga was just telling me about a comedy show we working on backstage. I don't like all this kind of shit. It wouldn't be a good idea to come around me again. Respectfully, stay away from me.
Not typical coming from the same guy who told J. Cole he shouldn't have backed out of the Kendrick and Drake beef. Don't kill the messenger.
What about J. Cole, man?
Well, I don't, you know.
No, what happened? What happened to
He
him?
didn't want to be a part of it.
He said he didn't want, that's not who he was.
I know.
Because that was just the beginning. The twist to the story is when T.I.'s son, King and Domani, would enter in the ring and take it exactly where 50 wanted to go with it.
This nigga wanna say something about my mama. Your mama dead as fuck, nigga. Your mama dead as fuck. Go dig her up. Go dig her up. playing like that. It ain't going like that. Nigga posting my mama legend. Your mama mother J, nigga.
But in the midst of it, whether he knew it or not, King had tripped over a topic long ignored in the community: how 50 always folds under pressure from white folk and doesn't keep the same energy he has for others. One post recalls a moment Curtis mocked an airport janitor for being high when the kid, Andrew Farrell, had autism. The boss of embarrassment not only apologized, but donated $100,000 to Autism Speaks. And that's not all. Usually, Curtis would not take any type of mocking or joking from anyone, as it was with Cat Williams.
Even 50 Cent turned against me.
But when it comes to Chelsea Handler, silence. Chelsea had no problems telling the world how 50 would push Cap right to her driveway.
Are you talking about 50 Cent?
No. He was beautiful. He was a sweetheart. He was so sweet. Yeah. He'd come over to our house every night, and he'd have like a Lamborghini one day and then like a yellow Ferrari the next day. And meanwhile, I realized he was borrowing all these cars from different dealerships. I was like, you can do that? You know, I'm like, oh, I went and bought a chocolate Bentley. I didn't know you could borrow cars and as a celebrity. So I went and bought a chocolate Bentley, and then we broke up. So there I am stuck with this chocolate Bentley like a fucking white dumb asshole driving around like I'm some rapper.
When it came to Vivica Fox, of course, she would be hit with memes too. Basically, if you have anything to say about the guy, just let a white person do the trick. I promise you, he'll say nothing.
50 Cent just wore one of the worst suits in recent memory. 50? How does this happen? You're too rich for this. I know you're a big guy, but you've been a big guy for a long time, since you were hanging upside down in that video. Now I have 21 questions, and they're all for your tailor. Starting with, why is the suit so damn tight?
Same pimp you can't get $1 out of sure knows how to give it up when he wants to. Shouldn't be surprising. Did you know the boss of embarrassment was a Trump supporter, throwing private shows for those folks under wraps? Keeping it a buck, none of this is new, a playbook we've seen before. When an artist gets a win so epic, they feel unbeatable. So much to the point, it takes more than one lesson for them to learn. And that's when the question started floating around the culture. Was Curtis about to learn the same exact lesson Drake just did? Drake had Meek Mill. 50 had Ja Rule. Both were landmark victories. Both were so decisive that they seemed to permanently establish dominance. In their mind, it didn't matter because they both shared a common glazer, one who was pretty much due for a Cap story of his own, DJ Capademics.
And yo, T.I., I'm gonna be honest with you. I got 50, I got 54 on you right now. It's not a good look for you, brother.
Whatever the case, both men mistook winning a battle for being unbothered. They both kept beefing. They both kept trolling. And neither one of them noticed that the culture was quietly building a counter-narrative.
Like, even guys like 50 Cent. Like, I'm like, damn, he must not have got, like, cause like, if a baby doesn't get held the first, like, 5 minutes, there's some things that fuck with them for the rest of their life. They have issues with, touching, loving. If you get abused when you can't protect yourself, it can make you, depressed.
Drake's exposure came from Kendrick and family. 50's exposure was coming from T.I. and family. And sure enough, it would be this family thing that not only put Drake in hot water, but Curtis as well. The audacity when both got babies with alleged sex workers in the industry. But don't worry, they both would pay the ultimate price for bringing family into it.
Curtis Jack, that's what came to mind soon as I heard the track. Ball spitting lyrical, condescending to murder rap. Heard they shot his ass with a Nina, he deserved a Mac. About to turn the heat up, I got my hand on the thermostat.
T.I. will go to the same move Fabulous figured out that worked. Bars, dropping 2 tracks back to back in the midst of it.
They finally got the right one. Roll some, light one. That's how I eat that. We're having for the night come. I don't like guns. I walk up on them nice up.
Showing the one thing 50 didn't have, family.
All closed eyes ain't sleep. And all even scares ain't leave. The bear hyping they don't go. When you see the jazz sleeping, shouldn't have woke.
While ChatGPT advised he was too old to rap, what it failed to mention is he's probably too old to be trolling the way he does, like a young adult. And when finally matched up with a young adult, he would meet his match in epic fashion. The lines of disrespect will be crossed both ways, one over the living, the other over the dead. Meanwhile, both of T.I.'s sons will play no games with the guy looking to make a spectacle of their mother.
Curtis Jackson, 29-year-old who admitted to trampling and beating 3 women at a concert.
He attacked women. Women. We were just there to see a concert. We were not there to get beat up. We were not there to get hit.
Instructing 50 to try his best to resurrect his own.
I'm not going. So tell your dead ass mama dig her ass up and post a picture that look better than my mama, nigga.
Even reminding us how good of a painter the young Curtis was. Though Clifford didn't need the help, there was nothing he could say.
Now, are you enjoying seeing your sons step up to the moment and the whole family concept?
No, I don't. I don't enjoy it. I do not. Simply because I've spent so much time
Straight like that. Your son don't love you. You don't got no family.
trying to get this little nigga off the ledge.
Talking about King?
Yes.
You not loved. You rich, but you not loved, nigga. Money means nothing without no one to spend it with.
And now he has justifiable means to undo all of the teachings that I've been teaching.
I saw T.I. talking about how he didn't want you, he basically didn't want you jumping into beef, so to speak, right? And
King as well.
Yes, and King as well, and talking about 50's mom. What was those conversations like?
Nah, we didn't really have a conversation.
Oh, you didn't even ask him. You just let it fly.
Because he probably would have told, he probably would have had some input. Then I would have to choose to ignore him or go my own route. So I just put it out.
Pretty soon, Curtis was getting the business from the entire Harris household.
Every nigga that played them bit the dust, my angels lucky charms. Yeah, I'm fly than a falcon, but rock and gold just like a saint. Still rep the ATL, but from that south can't no one say I ain't.
Miss Jackson, am I overreacting or is it valid? I wanna have a one-on-one convo about the man you sacrifice your life for so the world could see his talent. He's a legend now, I guess it worked out, but I need some answers. Are you happy with the way he been holding your family name?
What's up about Vegas City Monday?
I'm gonna lie to you. Hey, yo, King, when you hear this, don't get a big head, bro. Pause. I like King rapping. I feel like King been having the dopest bars.
All that matters at this moment is 50 bit off more than he could chew, eventually blaming the entire backlash on the same exact thing that Drake did: bots.
I'm out for the weekend. Too many bots on my page. Peace.
But remember, when he became Jomo's landlord and demanded that Jimmy fix what was broken, there were no bots involved, just reactions to disrespect. But even the disrespect began to look tired when an old foe boarded a plane with Curtis's goons, the groupie Tony Yayo, as well as Uncle Murder.
Suck ass job ruined the plane.
Suck
ass up, you fucking.
Well, even the norm began to look different. T.I. and his sons made 50 look fickle, maybe for the first time in his career. All Curtis can do is post AI memes.
What's up, man? Ain't heard from you in a while, where you been?
Nah, I'm cool.
The posts became more passive-aggressive rather than the braggadocious Curtis we came to know.
To entertain is to provoke emotions. Love me or hate me is clue. Just care enough to feel some kind of way. Tomorrow's gonna be a slow news day where y'all can keep making some shit up. I'm busy.
In fact, Curtis began to delete posts, maybe trying to place himself above the beef he escalated.
If my wife look like that, may God bless America.
Damn.
He'd then try everything from calling on help.
I don't know if that's a wrestler.
He'd once again attempt the same move Drake did to recover. Go running to those white folks to figure things out.
More stuff is happening when it comes to this T.I. versus 50 Cent battle, and it's really gotten even crazier as time has gone on.
For the first time since bankruptcy court, he took to the fence. All this over a battle. He would claim no one has ever provided paperwork of him cooperating with the feds. But once again, failing to mention, he threatened to talk to Puff's judge to stop him from getting released. Maybe this was 50's version of the Heart Part 6. He went from claiming T.I. was a snitch to defending himself from being one.
Let Jimmy Hitchman tell you I'm a snitch. Let Prince tell you I'm a snitch. Just say it one time. They say these things. Yeah. When they want to try, like, even for me personally, my character never try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snitch. Yeah. All you gotta do is ask him who I told him.
The same guy who denied snitching on Ja Rule and got rid of Meech for being a snitch would pretty much commit the same acts. The pattern was complete. Drake used bots as an excuse. Now 50 used bots as an excuse.
The bots ain't gonna buy albums.
Kendrick made Drake run to institutional white validation. T.I. made 50 run to the same place. Both men's family situations became public ammunition. Both men had their untouchable era end not with a knockout, but with a crowd that stopped being unconditionally in their corner. After King exposed that T.I. was with 50's baby mama,
Let's get in the old school, drop chop. You wanna give me top? Yeah, I'm whipping in this foreign. Feel like damn, it costs a lot. If niggas talk too much and run their mouth, I see why they got shot.
at some point you knew what was coming next, tweeting out his new project of Pettiness, a documentary showcasing all alleged victims of T.I. and Tiny and what will be his latest docuseries project. Turns out this whole time, while T.I. wasn't good enough for bars, now he would be good enough for broadcasts, while T.I. implied he's willing to go doc for doc.
Bruh, I don't want to talk about it.
You passed it.
I don't want to talk about it, bro. I mean, like I said before, man, it's not worth the trouble at this point, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like...
The fact remains, Curtis is doing a lot, all over a battle. He put out a teaser, a sub-track he plans to use as a power theme song, which was immediately responded to by Tip.
I'm back with my dope boy grandma. Your daddy made your mama eat every box in Atlanta.
That they the algorithm. Shut up. Did exactly what we told you to do. Told your ass to get in the booth and you did it. What's wrong with you? We the algorithm.
You the kind of sucker nigga we don't like. Wanna bully everybody who don't want no problem. The niggas come bully you and you don't want no problem. This nigga supposed to be a bully. I can't tell.
Lastly, 50 did the one thing a real troll never does. Reports a competitor's page getting King banned off of TikTok.
I said the niggas saying shit about my mama, which I rumored and proved them to be goddamn not facts. And your mama, goddamn, eat crackhead pussy. Bro, it's people that do worse than me on TikTok.
No, it's not. They banned too.
That documentary about T.I. is coming. The tweets will continue. The memes will get posted. The machine will keep running because the machine is all that's left. And somewhere in the comment section right now, someone who has defended Curtis Jackson through bankruptcy, through the Diddy situation, through the Sun drama and all of it, is watching T.I. chapter unfold and typing something that they have never typed about 50 Cent before. Maybe T.I. has a point. Once somebody types that, you already know how this ends, because we've seen this story before. We just called it something different the first time around. We called it Ja Rule. More than likely, just like Drake, Curtis's stance in the community will never be the same, because the truth is, the Drake story was never really about Drake. Watch the Drake Cap story, because now you'll see it completely different. Well, thank you for watching. Please join my Patreon to watch this, Unfiltered, and other exclusive projects that I have there. And please add me on Twitter and Instagram just in case something was to happen to this page, because you know how things can get sometimes. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I'll see you here next time on Moxy Approved.